I'm gonna go fly a kite.
Let me just say this, like every other Marvel movie, it doesn't end well.
It kept coming back my way. I said no a few times, and it kept coming back, and I talked to a few people.
Avengers stars are secretly working against Disney after years of being silenced, underpaid, and controlled by the Mouse House. Their brutal revolt has exposed Disney's exploitation tactics and triggered the biggest talent exodus Hollywood's ever seen. The empire is collapsing, and this time, not even Mickey Mouse can save it.
Marvel, mind you, this is like this Disney, not even really Disney, it's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. They don't need...
Disney built the Marvel empire on the backs of its biggest stars, cashed in billions, and now they're standing there acting shocked because those same stars finally had enough and decided to fight back. The golden age of Marvel? Yeah, it's basically collapsing in slow motion because the people who made it iconic, Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, Chris Evans, they've cooked up a quiet little rebellion. And honestly, Mickey Mouse never saw it coming. Bob Iger, the genius CEO of Disney, walking around with his inflated ego and his paycheck that's literally 400 times more than Disney's lowest paid worker, actually believed he could silence the most famous faces in Hollywood with some outdated contracts and empty promises. That's rich.
Nobody has anybody else to blame but Bob Iger himself. Everyone should blame Bob Iger. It's all his fault.
But plot twist, the contracts expired, the patience ran out, and now there's leaked footage all over the internet of the Avengers themselves calling Disney out for the fraud they've been running. And the cherry on top? These stars didn't just walk away quietly, they teamed up with Disney's biggest rival, Amazon, for a $120 million deal that basically torched whatever control Disney thought they had left. From private calls to public humiliation, Disney's iron grip on Marvel's most powerful franchise is slipping fast. And honestly, it's been a long time coming. Let's talk about why this rebellion makes total sense. Because Disney's been playing dirty for years. They just didn't think anyone would ever bite back. Jeremy Renner nearly died in January 2023. And I mean actually died, not Marvel fake died. The man got crushed by a 14,000-pound snowplow, broke over 35 bones, went through insane surgeries, titanium implants, months of grueling rehab, and when he finally started recovering,
you feel lightheaded, you might pass out, but like this is it was just exhausting.
Disney waltzes in with the audacity to offer him half his original salary for Hawkeye Season 2. Half. Imagine nearly losing your life, and your boss shows up saying, "Hey, so how about double the work for half the money?" That's Disney logic for you. In May 2025, Renner finally spoke up, and when he did, he didn't hold back. He straight up called Disney's so-called decision-makers what they really are, penny pinchers. The suits hiding behind spreadsheets while the people who carried the franchise are treated like they're disposable.
I won't be limited to just that, but it is an essential part of my life, right? A lot of people know me for a certain type of jobs.
It's disgusting, but honestly, it's not shocking when you look at Disney's track record. Let's not forget Robert Downey Jr., the man who single-handedly made Iron Man cool, got paid a pathetic $500,000 for the first film. Fast forward to Endgame, the guy earned $75 million. Funny how suddenly their pockets get deep when they realize they can't replace talent with robots and expect fans to care.
I don't even think they know who I am. They're just doing the deal, that kind of thing, most likely. Because how dare you? I told them to go fly a kite.
Then there's Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit. Disney tried pulling their sneaky streaming stunt during the pandemic, screwing with box office numbers so they wouldn't have to pay her what she was owed. She sued for $80 million, and word is Disney panicked and settled for over $40 million just to keep her quiet. Yeah, that's how they operate. Squeeze every dollar out of you, then act confused when you fight back.
It was at first it was some 9-picture contract, and decide you don't want to do them anymore. You're afforded the opportunity to take a step back and recalibrate when you have a giant contract.
And it doesn't stop there. Terrence Howard, replaced after a pay cut. Hugo Weaving, walked away. John Malkovich, rejected their lowball offers for years. You can only exploit people so long before they leave the building, or in this case, burn the whole thing down. But the best part? Disney actually thought they could keep everyone quiet forever. Meanwhile, Jeremy Renner wasn't just doing physical therapy during his recovery, he was making calls. The Avengers were regrouping, off the Disney grid, and planning their next move. And in spring 2023, that next move started taking shape with a private three-way call between Renner, Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson. These aren't your everyday workplace complaints. This was full-blown rebellion planning. No Mickey Mouse strings attached this time.
So it ended up just kind of clicking to me in the way of looking at it as whatever you're scared of, push yourself into it.
Barely weeks later, Amazon comes knocking with the ultimate power play. A $120 million deal, not just for acting gigs, but with full creative control, production rights, the power to bring in other ex-Marvel stars, and more importantly, freedom from Disney's chokehold. And this wasn't some small indie project either. We're talking Mirrorland dropping fall 2025, prototype filming for 2026, Echo Chamber set for spring 2026, an entire slate of projects led by the very people Disney underestimated. The cherry on top? The leaked Avengers video that came out after the deal was locked. It was raw, unapologetic, and filled with brutal truth bombs. Disney's manipulation, their complete radio silence when Renner was fighting for his life, their pathetic betrayal from the top Marvel executives, all of it exposed in one brutal clip. They never saw it coming, and now the empire they thought was untouchable, cracking wide open, all thanks to the people they thought they could control forever.
And it kept coming back, and I talked to a few people in my life, family and friends, and it just started to kind of make sense that I was saying no out of fear.
Let's not pretend Disney's grip over Hollywood is some new drama. They've been pulling this shady nonsense for decades. They just used to do it with glitter and mouse ears slapped on top. You want to talk about exploitation? Start with the child stars they paraded around like props while crushing them behind the scenes. Take Demi Lovato, for example. She literally revealed how Disney's handlers barricaded her inside hotel rooms, blocked her from ordering food, and ignored her medical emergencies, all to keep their brand image squeaky clean. Yep, the same magical company millions of kids grew up watching thought trapping a teenager in a hotel room while she was throwing up blood was totally fine, and Demi wasn't even the worst of it. Let's talk about Raven-Simonet, another Disney cash cow. She exposed how executives basically pressured her into multiple surgeries before she even turned 18 because, get this, they thought her natural teenage body was too distracting for their fake sanitized little empire. Imagine being a child making millions for Disney, and their first concern isn't your well-being, it's whether your body fits their creepy corporate standards. Then there's Bella Thorne, and her story's just as grim. Her family was practically on the edge of homelessness when Disney scooped her up. They didn't just hire her, they took control of her entire life. Social media, controlled, personal relationships, monitored, family media appearances, scripted. The same studio that preaches empowerment was literally turning desperate kids into obedient, paycheck-generating robots. And for years, no one could say a damn word about it. But don't worry, it gets worse, because that same gag order, Disney rolled it right into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know all those billion-dollar stars we thought were living the dream? Disney slapped them with something called the Studio Silence Provisions. You say anything bad about Disney? Boom, automatic fines, lost bonuses, residuals gone. Imagine making billions for a company and still living under legal threats like you're some disposable extra. That's what happened to faces like Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, literally the poster children of the MCU.
It's a big decision to make. If the first film does well, and if there's a big shift in lifestyle, there's no opportunity to retreat. Guess what? You gotta work again in 3 months, so figure it out.
But here's where Disney messed up. Those silencing contracts, they had an expiration date. December 31st, 2023. The moment that clock struck midnight, those same actors Disney tried to muzzle for years suddenly had their voices back. And what followed? It wasn't subtle. It was the loudest, most coordinated talent revolt modern Hollywood has ever seen, and it cracked Disney's empire wide open. By the time Elizabeth Olsen's resignation letter hit Disney's top brass, the panic inside the Mouse House was full-blown. She didn't hold back either. That iconic line, "I gave you my face, my time, and my trust. I'm keeping my voice." That wasn't just a resignation. It was a warning shot heard across the entire entertainment industry. Disney scrambled. Emergency meetings left and right. Retention bonuses thrown around like party favors. And in pure desperation, they even suspended enforcement of those creepy silence clauses, hoping no one would notice the cracks forming. But let's be real, the damage was done. Meanwhile, Amazon saw the chaos and moved fast. Their secret weapon? The Echo mandate, full speech protections for talent, guaranteed across the board. No gag orders, no fines, no backdoor legal traps. That one move lured more ex-Disney stars and Marvel insiders straight into Amazon's orbit, flipping the entire power dynamic in Hollywood overnight. And the numbers? They speak for themselves. Amazon's project announcements, 50 million views, blowing up the internet. Disney's latest Marvel trailers? Barely scrapped together 10 million. That's not a fluke. That's fans turning their backs on Mickey's circus and heading straight for the people who actually built the MCU. And if you think other studios aren't watching this mess unfold, think again. Netflix already launched a division focused on creative freedom. HBO's rolling out a full Creators' Bill of Rights. Warner Brothers? They're snapping up top-tier stars with contracts that look suspiciously similar to Amazon's new model. Disney's not the trendsetter anymore. They're the cautionary tale. Disney thought they owned the Avengers. Turns out, they just started a rebellion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more untold Hollywood chaos.